Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something really unique this time. Egiodola.
Egiodola.
Yeah. That Italian grape that's kind of having a moment. We've got a whole bunch of research piled up here ready to dig into.
It's pretty fascinating, right? Centuries of history almost disappeared. Now it's making a comeback.
Exactly. And you wouldn't believe the range of wines you can get from Egiodola. We're talking sparkling rosés, big, bold reds, everything in between.
It's incredibly versatile. It all starts in Liguria, northwest Italy. Think way back, Roman Empire times. Those steep, rocky hillsides, that's where Egiodola really took root.
A real survivor, huh?
Mm.
I was reading about the name Egiodola. It comes from Egiodola in Latin.
Meaning?
Small goat, apparently.
Mm.
Just think about the shape of the grape clusters.
Makes sense when you see them, those small, tight bunches, the berries with thick skins. That's where a lot of the wine's character comes from. It's a late ripening red grape, so it takes its time developing flavor.
So that longer ripening time, those thick skins, that's what makes those complex flavors.
Precisely. And what's really cool is you can make both red and rosé wines from it. Imagine a full-bodied, red, smooth tannins. You get aromas of cherry, blackberry, raspberry.
Oh, wow. Sounds delicious.
Then you have the rosés. They have this freshness, elegance. You still get those delicate red fruit notes, but often with a hint of citrus.
So literally an Egiodola for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, though, where does this grape thrive best? Any particular conditions it needs?
Well, Egiodola seems to love a temperate climate. Warm summers, mild winters.
That makes sense.
It's why it does so well in Brazil, in the Serra region. Those warm days are crucial for the grapes to develop their sugar, but it's the cool nights that lock in the acidity and those incredible aromas.
So a bit of balance, a little bit of contrast is good.
Exactly. The soil is important too, well-drained, but also fertile, mineral-rich. Clay is great for moisture and nutrients, and sand helps with that drainage. Finding the perfect balance is key.
Sounds a bit picky.
It knows what it likes. Altitude plays a role as well.
Yeah.
Egiodola actually prefers higher elevations. The wider temperature swings between day and night really intensify those aromas and give the wines this vibrant acidity. It's like the grapes are reaching for the sky.
Okay, I can picture those hillside vineyards now.
Uh.
But thinking realistically, growing anything has challenges, right? What are some of the things Egiodola growers have to contend with?
It's definitely not always easy. Egiodola can be prone to diseases like mildew and gray mold. That's where the winemakers come in. They're so important. Preventative measures, fungicides, being meticulous about pruning, managing the soil, even controlling irrigation, every detail matters.
So it's a real partnership between nature and human intervention.
You could say that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there are the pests. Mites, mealybugs, even birds can be a real nuisance. Constant monitoring is essential, sometimes introducing beneficial insects or, in tough cases, even using insecticides to protect those precious grapes.
Oh, sounds like a lot of work goes into those Egiodola vineyards, all to get those grapes ready for the winemaking process, right?
Precisely. It's a true labor of love, and that's what makes these wines so special. They're a testament to the dedication of the people who nurture those grapes from vine to bottle.
Speaking of, I'm really interested in that winemaking process now. How do they take those grapes and transform them into the Egiodola wines we've been talking about?
Ah, the magic of winemaking. Every step is crucial. It starts with careful selection. Only the best, perfectly ripe bunches move on. Then comes destemming, separating those grapes from the stems. The amount of stemming can actually impact the style of the wine.
Really, I love those little details.
Then comes maceration, where the juice and the grape skins get together. This is where the real transformation begins. Color, tannins, aromas, they're all extracted from those skins. Winemakers can control this process, adjust temperature and time, really influence the style of wine they're going for.
Like a choreographed dance almost.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe it. And then comes the heart of it all, fermentation. That's where yeast converts the sugar in the grape juice into alcohol, turning it into wine. Temperature control here is vital too, influencing those aromas and tannins.
This is where the science comes in, the yeast doing its thing.
It is. But there's artistry too. Some winemakers choose specific yeast strains for certain qualities. Others rely on the natural yeasts present on the grapes themselves. It's like adding a unique signature to each bottle.
Love that. Each one unique, a little piece of art. Okay, so fermentation's done. What happens next?
Well, next they separate the wine from the solids, the skins and seeds. It's called pressing. And just like every step, the intensity is carefully controlled to match the desired style.
A delicate balance, getting all the good stuff without overdoing it.
You got it. And then there's an optional step, malolactic fermentation. It sounds complicated, but imagine it like a spa treatment for the wine.
A spa treatment. Okay, tell me more.
It softens the acidity, adds a creaminess, makes the wine even smoother. It's how they achieve those velvety Egiodolas.
Ah, makes sense. So all these steps lead to that final bottled product, right? But then there's aging, isn't there?
Right, and aging, especially for the fuller-bodied Egiodolas, is crucial. It allows those wines to mature, develop their full potential. Think of it like giving them time to tell their story.
I like that. What does aging actually involve?
Well, opa barrels are common for aging Egiodola, and the type of oak used, French or American, makes a big difference.
Oh, how so?
French oak often brings out those subtle spices, vanilla, toasty notes, and refines the tannins. American oak. Think more like coconut, caramel, vanilla, and those tannins become bolder. And then the length of time matters a few months, years. Even the way they toast those barrels changes the final flavor.
So much complexity even in that one step.
Exactly. But ultimately, it all comes down to the sensory experience, what those wines taste and smell like when they're finally ready.
So set the scene for us. What are we in for when we try Egiodola?
Get ready for a symphony of aromas. Think fresh red berries, strawberry, cherry, maybe even raspberry. Then there are those darker fruits, blackberry, blueberry. Sometimes you'll catch delicate floral notes too, like violets or roses. And then there are those subtle spice hints. Black pepper, clover. It adds another layer of intrigue.
Like a garden in a glass. And the taste itself.
You'll notice those soft, rounded tannins, the kind that just melt on your palate. Acidity is usually beautifully balanced, and the body can range from light to full depending on how it was made. Those delicious fruit flavors will be there, echoing the aromas, and then a pleasant finish that lingers, making you want just one more sip.
Sold. I need to find some Egiodola. But with all these different styles, I need pairing suggestion.
Oh, absolutely. Egiodola is incredibly food-friendly. For a full-bodied one, think hearty meals, grilled steak, a juicy roast, even barbecue.
Perfect match.
Something lighter, like roast chicken, pasta, a medium-bodied Egiodola would be wonderful. And let's not forget those sparkling Egiodolas, perfect for celebrations or even with appetizers. Imagine some spicy sausage, savory pastries, and that sparkling rosé Egiodola just dancing on your tongue.
Oh, stop. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm ready to start exploring, where do I begin? Any regions, producers, anything like that?
Definitely. Let's start in Italy, Egiodola's home turf.
Yeah.
Emilia-Romagna, that's the birthplace. The wines from there really showcase that classic Egiodola profile.
So a trip to Italy is in order.
I wouldn't say no to that, but Egiodola's story doesn't end there. It's actually spread to other parts of Italy, too. Lombardy, Veneto, Tuscany. Each region brings its own twist to Egiodola. It's incredible to see the diversity.
It's like the grape is traveling the world and picking up new flavors along the way.
That's a great way to put it. But Egiodola isn't just limited to Italy anymore. Remember, we mentioned Brazil. It's become a real star there in the Serra region. The climate and soil are surprisingly similar to parts of Italy, and they're producing some outstanding Egiodola wines that are earning international acclaim.
So it's a global citizen now.
You could say that. It's making its mark in Argentina as well.
Amazing. Anywhere else?
Believe it or not, even the United States is starting to embrace Egiodola. A few winemakers in California and Oregon are experimenting with it, drawn to its unique qualities and its versatility.
It really seems like Egiodola is having a global moment. What's driving this newfound interest?
Well, people are craving authenticity in their wines, that connection to a specific place. Egiodola offers that in spades. And for winemakers, it's like a blank canvas. There's so much potential for exploration and creativity. They're pushing the boundaries and showcasing all the amazing things this grape can do.
It's almost like Egiodola is a symbol of rediscovery, both for the winemakers and for the people who get to enjoy these wines.
I couldn't agree more. But why is preserving and appreciating this grape so important, you ask? Take Brazil, for example. Egiodola is part of their viticultural heritage. Protecting it means safeguarding those traditions, that diversity that makes Brazilian wine so unique. It's like preserving a piece of living history.
It's a beautiful sentiment, and it sounds like innovation is playing a big role in this resurgence too.
Absolutely. Winemakers are always experimenting, always striving to bring out the best in Egiodola. We've talked about those clay amphori, but they're also revisiting the use of indigenous yeasts, those natural yeasts that exist on the grapes themselves. It's a way to capture the true essence of the terroir.
Blending the old ways with the new. It's fascinating.
It is, and the future. Well, Egiodola is poised for great things. There's a growing market for these unique, expressive wines, and Egiodola checks all the boxes. Plus, there's a growing awareness of sustainability, and many Egiodola producers are at the forefront of that movement.
It's great to hear that makes those wines taste even better, knowing they're made with respect for the environment.
I agree. And to keep this momentum going, research and development are crucial. Understanding this grape, its potential, how to best cultivate it, that's what will ensure Egiola thrives for years to come.
It's amazing to see a grape that was almost forgotten now experiencing this incredible revival. It's a real testament to the power of passion, dedication, and the pursuit of excellence.
Well said. And that's what makes Egiodola so captivating. Its resilience, its ability to constantly surprise us, its connection to the land and the people who pour their hearts into crafting these wines. It's a reminder that there's always something new to discover in the world of wine. But you know what? We've only just scratched the surface.
Wait, there's more?
Oh, definitely. We have so much more to explore. Join us as we take a deeper dive into the specific regions where Egiodola thrives and uncover those unique expressions that make each terroir so special. It's going to be an incredible journey.
Okay, so we've talked about Egidola's journey, its quirks, how it's grown. Now I'm really excited to get into the specifics. Where does it actually shine? Where should we start our little Egidola world tour?
Well, we got to go back to the source, right? Emilia-Romagna in Italy. It's like Egiodola's home turf.
Makes sense.
This region, they've been making wine forever. And the climate, the soil there, it's just perfect for Egiodola. The grapes ripen beautifully, and you can really taste that in the wines.
Yep.
They have this distinct character that just screams Emilia-Romagna.
So what should we be looking for in an Emilia-Romagna Egiodola? What makes it stand out?
Think good structure, smooth tannins, nice bright acidity. You'll usually get those classic red fruit aromas, cherry, raspberry, but often with this little hint of spice that I find really
A
interesting.
little secret something.
Exactly. And within Emilia-Romagna, there's an area called the Colli di Rimini DOC. It's like Egiodola Central. They often blend it with other local grapes, Sangiovese, Merlot, to create these wines that are super unique to that place.
A real team effort, huh?
You could say that, but Egiodola isn't just a team player. It can definitely hold its own too. There are so many different styles you can make with it.
Oh, so it's not just one type of wine.
No way. It's full of surprises. Now let's head north a bit to Lombardy. They're known for their sparkling wines, and guess what? They're using Egiodola to make some incredible sparkling rosés.
Sparkling Egiodola. Now that sounds fun. What are they like?
Think light, bubbly, bursting with those fresh red fruit flavors we talked about, like a party in your mouth.
Okay, that's going on my list. What about other parts of Italy? Is Egiodola making waves elsewhere?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Veneto, for example, they have a long winemaking tradition too, and they're really starting to explore Egiodola's potential. They're making everything from light, fruity reds to those bigger, bolder wines that are meant to age. It's incredible to see how many different faces this grape can have.
It's like each region has its own interpretation, its own style.
Precisely. And even in Tuscany, the land of Sangiovese, those big Chianti wines, even there, some winemakers are starting to experiment with Egiodola, sometimes blending it with Sangiovese, sometimes letting it shine solo. They're pushing boundaries, seeing what this grape can do in a totally new context.
So even in Tuscany, Egiodola is finding its place.
It really is. It speaks to its quality, how adaptable it is. And you know what? It's not just an Italian story anymore. Remember we talked about how well it grows in Brazil?
Right, Theragocha.
Exactly. The conditions there, in some ways, they're actually similar to parts of Italy. Egiodola's found a real home there. The wines are getting attention internationally, even winning awards. It's proof that this grape can travel and still make amazing wine.
A true global citizen.
I like that. And it's not just Brazil. Egiodola is making a name for itself in Argentina, too.
Wow, so Italy, Brazil, Argentina, anywhere else.
Believe it or not, even in the U.S., there are a few winemakers in California, Oregon, who are starting to work with Egiodola. They're drawn to its uniqueness, that ability to make wines that are complex but also super food-friendly.
So even in a country with so many different wine regions, Egiodola is carving out its own little space.
Exactly. It's like it speaks a universal language. It doesn't matter where it's grown. There's this underlying quality, this charm that comes through. And what I find so exciting is that every region, every winemaker They bring their own perspective to Egiodola. They're not just copying what's been done before. It's all about exploring, innovating, showing the world what this grape can do.
It's like they're saying, hey, world, look what we can do at Egiodola.
Yeah, exactly. And as wine lovers, we get to reap the benefits of all that creativity. We have this incredible range of Egiodola wines to explore, from light and bubbly to rich and age-worthy. It's pretty remarkable.
Okay, so we've talked about the regions, we've talked about Egiodola going global. Let's get back to the wines themselves. What about those different styles we mentioned? Can you walk us through that spectrum?
Of course. On one end, you have those light, refreshing Egiodolas all about fruit, vibrancy. Those are perfect for casual sipping, warm weather, or with lighter meals. They're typically lower in tannins, so they're really easy to drink.
Like a little ray of sunshine in a glass.
Oh, love that. Then, as we move along, we encounter those medium-bodied Egiodos. They have a bit more structure, a bit more complexity. You get a nice balance of fruit, acidity, and tannins, making them super versatile for food pairing.
So these are the ones that can handle a bit more on the plate.
Exactly. Pasta with a hearty sauce, roasted chicken, grilled veggies, you name it. And then at the other end of the spectrum, we have the full-bodied Egiodolas, the ones that are built to age. They're the ones with those deep, concentrated flavors, those well-integrated tannins, the kind of aromas that just get better and better with time. They're the wines you might want to cellar for a few years and then open on a special occasion.
Like a little time capsule of flavor.
Exactly. They're a testament to the aging potential of Egiodola. It's truly remarkable how one grape can produce such a diverse range of styles.
It really is. But no matter the style, there's always this underlying elegance, this expressiveness that makes Egiodola so special.
I agree. It's a grape that can really speak to you, tell you about the place it comes from, and that's what makes it so captivating. But you know what? We've only scratched the surface of what makes Egiodola so special.
There's more.
Oh, absolutely. There's a whole world of innovation and passion behind these wines. Join us as we dive deeper into the stories of the people who are shaping the future of Egiodola. It's going to be an incredible journey.
We've talked about the regions, the styles, Egiodola's worldwide journey. What's next for this grape? What does the future hold?
It's a really exciting time for Egiodola. It almost disappeared, but now it's back, stronger than ever. It's kind of inspiring, that resilience. It really speaks to the potential of this grape.
A real comeback kid. So what's driving this Egiodola renaissance?
I think there's a real thirst for authenticity these days. Wines that have a story, a connection to a place. People are tired of the same old, same old. Egiodola offers something different, something special.
I get that. In a world that feels increasingly mass-produced, it's refreshing to find something unique.
Exactly. And for winemakers, Egiodola is like a dream come true. They can experiment, push boundaries, really let their creativity shine. We talked about those old techniques being rediscovered, right? Like those clay amphorae for fermentation.
Yeah, that was fascinating.
It's a perfect example, a technique that's been around for centuries, but it's having a moment because it brings something special to the wine. It lets it breathe naturally, so you get more texture, complexity, sometimes even this earthy quality.
It's like combining the wisdom of the past with the knowledge of today.
Exactly. And then there's carbonic maceration, which is all about capturing that youthful, fresh fruitiness of Egiodola. The wines are so light, juicy, perfect for a warm day.
I can practically taste it. So much creativity, all from one grape.
Yeah.
It's amazing how winemakers can shape it in so many different ways.
It speaks to the versatility of Egiodola and the skill of the winemakers, for sure. And we can't forget about the sustainability movement. It's really taking hold. More and more Egiodola producers are realizing how crucial it is to respect the environment.
It's a trend that's gaining momentum everywhere. It's great to see Egiodola producers leading the charge.
They really are. Organic farming, water conservation, using renewable energy. It's not just a trend, it's a philosophy. They know that healthy vineyards mean healthy grapes, which means exceptional wines.
It all comes full circle, right? Caring for the environment, caring for the grapes. It shows in the final product.
Absolutely. But there's another piece to the puzzle, one that's really important for the future of Egiodola research and development.
Oh, interesting. What kind of research is happening?
Scientists and viticulturists are constantly studying Egiodola, trying to understand its disease resistance, how it adapts to different climates, even how to enhance its flavors. It's a whole world of discovery.
So they're constantly learning, pushing the boundaries, ensuring that Egiodola has a bright future.
Exactly. It's really inspiring to see. It's a reminder that even in a world that sometimes feels like it's all been figured out, there's always something new to discover.
This whole deep dive into Egiodola has been incredible. It's a grape that has truly captured my imagination, and I'm going to be on the lookout for more Egiodola wines to try.
That's what we like to hear. I hope everyone listening feels the same. Explore, be adventurous, step outside your comfort zone. You never know what you might discover. You just might find your new favorite wine.
Well said. That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of Egiodola.
Cheers to that! Until next time, happy exploring, everyone.